to the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. What's happening?
And I am Sam Healey.
Oh,
it's a Christmas show, apparently.
Laughter. Laughter. Games that cause laughter.
Agricola. Psych.
All right. No, we're not going to do that. We're not talking about games that are so bad we laugh at how horrible they are, or games that we laugh at for whatever other reasons. Games that really naturally bring forth laughing or comedy during them. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I did.
Yeah,
that is what I did as well.
Oh, we did the same thing.
All right. About it.
Now, my list has obviously some party games on it, but there's games on here that aren't party games too. Do you have the same with you?
I had to dip into the party game genre.
Most of my games are party games, guys, if not all.
Lame. All right.
The kind of games that make me laugh. I'm not sitting around going, covering is funny. Look at that sheep in my house.
Okay, there's like a big gap between Caverna and many other games, right?
Games, I guess, don't make me laugh. It was kind of funny because I did try to do that. I tried to think about, I don't want to make a big party list. This is not necessarily my top 10 party games. I want to make that clear. Mm-hmm. But I tried to look, I searched, I looked, and I'm going, none of these games make me laugh. I love them. Many of them I just enjoy so much, but I'm not sitting around playing Pandemic laughing. It's my favorite game, but it doesn't make me laugh.
See, he managed to get Pandemic in the list. That had nothing to do with
Number
the topic.
11. I mean, I'm not even going to mention TI3.
You just did! It's Sam's 11 TI3.
Let's get started.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is a party game within which you are trying to guess the answers to certain things, and you have a team. It's Wits and Wagers. Trying to hit the, balance.
That's good. I thought it was nice.
Not bad. Anyway, Wits and Wagers is a game that I have laughed a lot during. Now, most of my experience with Wits and Wagers has been at the convention level, where we have a 4 or 5 person team, and there are 5 other 4 or 5 person teams. And
yeah, it's so much fun to play it that way.
There's a camaraderie within the team, and you're all cracking jokes, and that's not really part of the game. So I was kind of shying away from Wits and Wagers, which is why it made my number 10. But I have played it a lot with my youth group, and where the game has fostered laughter with my youth group is some of the answers that the teenagers come up with.
Okay, I can see that.
And it's like, what were you thinking?
What percentage of Americans own cats? 94.
Yeah, 94, and it's like, they're 112, and it's like, really? Come on, what are you talking about? And it's just the laughter, and it's really hard to explain because it's one of those, you had to be there type explanations. Mm-hmm. You have to be there to understand exactly what it's like. But hopefully you can wrap your head around that. Wits and Wagers made my number 10 because of the wacky answers that some of the teams come up with.
That's a good choice. I thought about it. Okay, my number 10 is not a party game. Tales of Arabian Nights.
Okay.
See, that one is a comedy-filled game. It's a story-based game.
Okay.
And as you're playing it, the situations invariably cause laughter. You befriend a beggar and he gets up and steals all your stuff and runs off and you're crippled. And by the time the game is over, people are usually in stitches at someone else's misfortune. You're usually laughing at yourself. Mm-hmm. You're crippled, you're in prison,
right.
You're cursed, you're being chased by a vengeful hubby, you've been sex changed. I said hubby.
Oh, it's getting real up in here.
Hubby.
Husband.
That's what I think too. But
No, hubby stands for spouse. It's a short for spouse, isn't it?
yeah, my hubby husband. I mean,
Husband.
not a female
Not
side
a
of
female.
that.
You don't
Alright,
call it
whatever.
female.
Okay.
No, but that's fine. I thought maybe you meant some strange critter from the Arabian Nights.
You might go hubba with your finger. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't call her hubby.
Thanks.
I'll tell you what. This game, you're right. It's a game that could induce laughter, but this game really did not work for me. I've only played it once. I really disliked it.
You did laugh a lot.
I might have been
At the
laughing,
game.
so I kept from weeping, maybe, but it's.
All right, well, I love Tales of Arabian Nights. All right, what's your number 10?
All right, my number 10, Sam, I gotta say, the Wits and Wagers, for me, it's not a game that I've played. I enjoy the game quite a bit, but it's just then bring the laughter. Because it's all the numerical thing just doesn't do it, right? However, this other game from the same company, Say Anything, does give me that laughter that Wits and Wagers doesn't give me. Say Anything, everybody, you come up with you draw the card and it says what the question is, and everybody writes whatever they want. So you can come up with whatever you want, and therein you can be as funny or as silly or as wacky or as referential as you want. And with the right group, it can be funny. It's my 10. It's not a laugh down, a fall down laughing kind of game for me, but it can be lighthearted and funny. So my number 10, Say Anything.
Yep. Still confused why this one doesn't sell that well.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 9.
My number 9 probably could have a lot of different games put in its stead. The games that are sheer idiotic to watch people play. So I'm picking Dancing Eggs. I often get asked what the carton of eggs is on the shelf here, and that's Dancing Eggs. Although the US version coincidentally comes in a box, not a carton. It's just a bunch of rubber eggs and one wooden egg, and you are rolling dice and grabbing these eggs, but then once you get one, you have to stick it, in the crook of your arm or between your neck and your head, and then maybe run around the table. Really dumb. But watching a group of adults who are not triathlon competitors. Triathletes, yeah, I'm sure.
Is that a word?
Okay.
Sam?
What is this?
You're knocking it out of the park tonight, buddy.
It's funny to see chubby people running around the table. That's what Tom's trying to say.
Well, I was trying to be more diplomatic.
Why you gotta be chubby?
All right.
All right, so anyway, Dancing Eggs. It really, though, is hilarious. It's not a game that I would bring out to many situations. Yeah. But there's other games that could be substituted for that. And that's the only one I put on my list. But I mean, that one with the plunger and you're trying to pull the mice out, or any game that makes people act like in a really ridiculous way. And they first start out playing the game saying, this is dumb, but by the time it's over, everyone's laughing.
I'm still trying to figure out how you fit something between your neck and your head.
You swallow it, and it stops right here.
It stops right here.
All right. My number 9 is Spyfall. One of the newest games on my list here. And Spyfall is one of those games that, again, the laughs, I think, come naturally. The game doesn't necessarily set you up for laughter. It's not one of those games that makes you do something silly. But listening to people answer questions, people asking questions in very specific, strange ways, that shifty-eyed look where you're looking at everybody, it just gets you giggling, it gets you going, where you're not quite sure what's happening and you're not sure who's lying, but somebody's for sure lying. Yeah. It's a great setup for laughter, and it's so good because it's natural laughter, My number 9, Spyfall, a great, great game.
That's a good one.
All right.
That's a good one. My number 9 is Telestrations. And Telestrations, you laugh at how horrible people draw. That is quite simply. But not only that, you laugh at how the grapevine changes what the thing is supposed to be as you go around the table. Mm-hmm. I mean, because some of those transformations are incredibly hilarious. And as each person shares their little booklet of pictures and phrases and all that kind of stuff, you just cannot help but break into laughter sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those times where some really memorable experiences can come from Telestrations. So it made my number 9, Telestrations.
All right.
Number 8.
All right, my number 8 is a game that we've actually played live, and so if you want to go find that and check it out, you can. The game is Sheriff of Nottingham. And Sheriff of Nottingham is a very simple game about lying, about being sneaky, about really, if you want to make it about laughter, about role-playing, about sort of making it bigger than itself. And someone will be a sheriff, someone or several will be merchants, and that will switch from round to round, but really it's about buying into that setup and running with it. And if you want to be a silly sheriff, if you want to be like a crackdown sheriff, you want to be FBI sheriff, you can do whatever you want to, because the game, it gives you a theme, but live it up and have fun and make it funny, and you will have a great time with friends with this silly game. The game ultimately is one of those skeleton type games that serves a great purpose in allowing laughter. So, my number 8, Sheriff of Nottingham. Really funny stuff.
Yeah, I should have put this on my list. I didn't. I should have.
You messed up.
I think it would have hit my top, like 10, 9, or 8. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You're an idiot. All right.
What is
Number 8.
This is pick on Tom, Nate.
Revenge.
In stereo. My number 8 is a game of racing cars around a rather lengthy track and having to correctly calculate the corners. And the laughing in Formula D comes when people throw caution to the wind. And they are, 10 spots away from the corner, and they say,
Gun it!
I'm punching it, buddy. I'm just going to nail that corner, and I don't care. I'm going to blow out all 4 of my tires in the process. And, it's just, sometimes that happens. They're done, toast. Their car is wreckage in the middle of the turn, and now you have to navigate around them. But other times, they actually survive. They actually survive. And this happens a lot when you play with teenagers, because they're all car muscleheads.
Right.
In their own psyches, and they know exactly how to drive a Formula One car around a racing track. So a lot of laughing circumstances have come from Formula D, so it made my number 8.
This sounds like a subset. Games where Sam laughs at the misfortune of others.
No, I'm
Of
playing in these
children,
games.
mind.
Yes. I'm playing in these games too, and
No, there's a big difference between laughing at a child and laughing at a teenager.
yes, teenager
Sure,
can
okay,
take it.
that's
You'll
what
make,
I meant,
you'll
a
make the
teenager.
kid laugh.
Okay, a teenager.
You'll make the kid cry, but teenager will.
They have to take it.
Yeah, they do.
They cry on the inside. Okay. My number 8 is Horse Fever. Horse Fever is a racing game which is so ridiculous and over the top. I mean, essentially the horses are doing a drag race. They're just running down the center. And at the beginning of this, Horse Fever is more convoluted than it should be. It really is.
It is.
Okay, you're drawing these cards and hiring managers, and there's this like really complex style game around it. But when the actual race begins, it's the fact that Sam put steroids on one horse and, hobbled another horse, and you don't know that happens till the race starts. And then they're still rolling the dice, and people are cheering excitedly and laughing at what happens. And it's, I don't know, every time I played this game, I've laughed so much and just had a good time.
a good one.
I would love to see Horse Fever redone, like a streamlined Horse Fever. Because there's a lot of horse racing games out there, and there are many that are more streamlined than Horse Fever, but I haven't ever seen one that gave the humor that Horse Fever did.
Yeah.
So, and also not a party game.
Yeah.
See?
Right, that's a good one.
Number 7.
My number 7 is a game that was put out by Haba, which I'm not certain ever came out in English necessarily, but the game is called, as far as I can pronounce it in German, Trottelfond, which is a game in which you're supposed to be an elephant.
The name makes me laugh.
You're an elephant. Everybody's an elephant, and you have one of those party favors, which when you blow upon it will unfold and curl back. And there's this contraption in the center of the table, which is a tree, sort of a tree made of cardboard with leaves that are cardboard pieces sitting on it. You turn that thing on, and it starts to spin fairly slowly, but it spins. And then everybody at the same time starts to, with their trunks, grabbing pieces. You go, and the thing uncurls, and then you grab one, and it curls back in, which is actually really cool. And then you sometimes want to keep it. Like, while it's curling back, you need to see things that were hidden on the corners because they were facing down. So you look at it as it's coming back at you, and sometimes you miss it, which is funny, and then you have to, blow a little bit.
You can
like,
do that?
Just to, see it?
You can do that?
Yeah.
I can't focus like that.
It's not
man.
that. It's not that fast. It doesn't come back that fast because they have the thing stuck in it.
Zee has written a book on the strategy of this game.
Anyway, then once you've looked at it, you either keep it yourself, which means you blow it onto your thing, or someone else's if you don't want it, if it's a bad thing. The game is like laughter and silliness condensed into 2 minutes, but it's a serious pressure built in there.
So this is in the same category as my Dancing Eggs game.
It is, right, it is. And again,
a category
Haba,
of games
right?
that Sam says will not play.
It's one of those Haba things. They know exactly how to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where they take an idea and run with it and make it silly but hilarious. Trottelfond, my number 7. I think it's hard to get, but it's a hilarious game. Highly sanitary also.
I have no, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's almost like bring your own party favor.
Yeah.
Hey! Okay, game's over.
I've only played this game once,
What, you played it?
and I remember it.
Whoa.
So that speaks to everything you've just said.
You must have taught him this.
It is a very. I played it at University of Miami with. I want to say Christian was in the group.
Okay.
Which
Well, the copy of the game I've
that
played.
alone
Yeah.
hilarious.
So the copy of the game I've played belongs to Will.
Okay.
Will Noble, who is on BGG Frogmind, and he loves these kinds of games.
Yeah, he's a guy in our group who has the weirdest collection of games, even weirder than Z's.
Yeah, definitely. And he showed it to me, and it's a great game. I love it.
All right.
My number 7, Trotafont.
My number 7 is yet still not a party game. It is Trump Fabric or Hollywood Blockbuster or Dream Factory.
That's cool.
Now, this game is hilarious with the caveat that you're playing one of the versions that has modern actors, or if you paste it over modern actors, because if you play with older actors, it's not funny. But every time I play this game, people laugh because the game is actually a very solid game.
Okay.
You're auctioning off and making movies. But the movies that are made just come across as really funny.
Yeah.
You know, Quentin Tarantino is making Shrek, starring Christian Slater, and it's
Quentin Tarantino making
That's
Shrek.
that's a movie of the week
Yeah.
on TV, man. That's rough.
it's on Lifetime. Anyhow, so it's a Hallmark movie.
Lifetime? Quentin Tarantino on Lifetime?
I don't
Or
know.
He has
Hallmark?
a soft side. So anyhow, but I mean that's the thing. That's what the game brings out.
Okay.
It's just that funny moment, like okay, I'm making Dances with Wolves, and this time it's going to star Chris Rock, and just that. Every time I play the game, things like that you're doing because you're trying to make a very good combo.
Right.
You're not doing these things to be stupid, but they just come up as funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Trump Fabric. As long as you have either one of the more modern versions, which uses parody versions of the characters, or paste them over with real ones.
Right.
Cool. All right, my number 7 is our first crossover, and it is a crossover with Z, and it is a game where you are trying to find the liar in the group of
Wow, now I'm feeling really...
Spyfall. And everything that Z said, it is one of those things where it's just goofy. It not goofy. It's goofy in a serious sense, if that makes any.
Well, it's not like stand up and pat your head kind of stuff.
Right.
It's you're a spy, but it's so silly, right? I mean,
People are acting out of their normal character,
right.
and that's what makes it goofy.
Yes.
To me, at least.
It's like a silly spy film.
Yeah.
It's like, that Mr. Bean spy film.
Johnny English,
right?
yeah.
Right, it's
Johnny
that in a board game, and it's funny, man.
Right. It is very funny. It's very funny, and especially when one person in your group keeps being the spy,
Yeah,
and he really doesn't want to be the spy. Yeah, that's.
If you don't know what we're talking about again, you can check this out live.
Yeah, watch the lives. It's amazingly funny. But anyway, Spyfall, everything that Z said was I totally concur with. My number 7.
Okay.
Number 6.
All right, my number 6. I guess this is a party game. This is one Sam mentions in like every other top 10 list. Well, no, not really, but you do talk about it a lot, and that's Cash and Guns.
Oh.
Yeah, Cash and Guns, especially 2.0. But I mean, the first one I would have put on the list had the first one been here. But Cash and Guns brings out the humor. And I can understand that there'll be people who are probably watching this going, there's nothing funny about pointing a gun at someone else.
There is if they're orange and foam rubber.
Yeah. I understand that point of view, actually, but I still think it's really funny when we play it. And it causes laughter, and it's really funny when everyone says 1, 2, 3, and everyone points at the same person.
Yep.
Because it's like, there's not even like an unspoken agreement or anything. It just happens to be that way. And you see the one person just look around and they're like, drop their gun.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
And
guys.
everybody starts going, you wimp, you little Mary, whatever.
Yeah, so it's really fun. So that's my number 6, Cash and Guns.
Yeah, cool. All right, my number 6 is a game that also involves guns and arrows and bullets.
Bang?
Bang
The
the
dice
dice
game?
Yes,
Really?
sir. Yeah, Bang the Dice Game. Every time I play this game, there's a lot of laughter, and usually the laughter is, and I'm usually not a fan of player elimination, but in this one, I am a fan of player elimination because it is really funny. Because it's like sharks in the water. And if somebody starts bleeding a lot, and they go after it, man. I mean, if you start taking hits, you're gone, buddy. You're going to get hit, and you're going to get hit hard because everybody is just gunning for you. Sometimes they don't even care if you're on their team or not. They want to kill somebody, and they're going down, okay? And it's funny because it's a quick game. It's a fast game. So if you get knocked out, you're only going to be sitting around for about 5-10 minutes while the rest of the game finishes, and then we start another game up. So usually I'm not a fan of player elimination in that sense, but this one's so fast it mitigates itself. But Bang the Dice game, a lot of laughs in that one for me.
All right.
My number 6 is a game that both of you are major fans of. Well, maybe not. I don't know about Sam. You are. Time's Up is the game, which is a game I like. And it's definitely in the right setting can be very, very funny. And if you get a good mix of cards and a good mix of people, which is as more circumstantial than a lot of these other games.
You think so? Oh, you mean the mix of people or the mix of cards?
Both. That's what I meant. Like the combination of the people and cards.
Yeah.
Like cards that are great but wrong for that group won't produce as funny a game.
All right.
Yeah.
It's more susceptible to that than many of these other games, is what I mean. But the game is very funny. You know, it's basically charades, evolving charades. Charades that slowly strip you of abilities. You lose your voice first, and then eventually you'll lose your movement and kind of.
Wow, that's kind of a weird way to put that game.
Yeah.
But it's accurate.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It's very funny if you get the right mix, and you're likely to, as long as you pick cards that everybody knows, things like that can be funny. So Time's Up. My number 6. A good party game. A solid party game.
All right, halfway.
Cool.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game that pulls from your knowledge of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And I can't. This man has never seen Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail.
It saddens me. It really does.
I'm gonna go watch it between now and when this goes up, and I will laugh in your face.
Make liars of us all. Shadows over Camelot is a game that really the mechanics don't foster the laughter. It's actually, if you play the game just for its pure mechanical sense, it can be kind of boring.
I don't think it's boring, but I don't think it's funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's not funny.
Yeah, this is the list of funny games.
I'm telling you. Okay, come on. Half of the games that we've mentioned so far have been the social interaction around the game. It has not been the game itself.
The game automatically encourages it.
Understood, but it's not the mechanics that are encouraging. It is your. I've played this game where people have.
What mechanics are funny though?
No, I'm not. That's what
you know when you put a 4 down and then you.
That's not what I'm saying.
And then you get a 5.
I'm not even.
He's like worried about getting.
I know, right? I'm not even doing anything.
Well, I saw his arm move, so I got all nervous.
It's a funny game for me because usually I'm cracking jokes and people start cracking jokes about Monty Python, and we all laugh. Not you because you're a loser. We all started cracking jokes.
Serious.
There is a lot of laughing around this game. Every time I've played it, there has been a lot of laughter. It's not a funny game per se, but I've always experienced laughter playing Shadows over Camelot.
Okay.
So I'm right.
You're very earnest.
You're wrong.
You're very earnest here.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that by a long shot.
That's fine.
I'm kind of agreeing
You
with
have
him.
the right to be wrong.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Z.
What are we on?
We're on 5s.
Okay, my number 5 is a bit of a stretch because technically,
Really? Really?
Hold on, let me.
Hang on, let me get it out
You
first.
can jump on me in a second.
Go ahead.
I think technically this game's not quite out, though it's about to be. It's a game from R&R Games called Spit It Out.
No, I accept that.
Correct me if I'm
Because
wrong here.
we
Is this
played
out
it.
technically? This
No,
will
it's
be
not out yet.
soon.
But by the time some people watch this video,
It should be out very soon, if not out
Just
already.
saying, we gave Jason a whole lot of junk about this.
yeah, but that was because
No,
it was
he hadn't
best
played
of a
full
year.
game.
Just saying.
He hadn't actually played the full game. We played a full game of this. Several, in fact. We played quite a bit of it. Spit It Out is a game in which you have to get you're asked questions under the gun, under a time pressure, and you have to get many in fact, wrong on purpose, but still in the spirit of the question. So you cannot just say mattress for everything, but you have to be in the ballpark.
I will.
It sounds lame, in fact, explaining this game, and when I heard what it was about, I thought, okay, whatever. It sounds like a silly party game. No. This thing is funny. This game will make your brain go, because the only thing you can think of is the right answer.
Painful, not funny.
This game is. I agree with Z. The reason I didn't put this on my list was because it's not out yet. Actually, I thought about it, and I didn't do it because of that reason. But it would have made my list.
We played a finished copy. There's no changes. This is it, and it's really funny. It's not out, but it will be soon. Just check it out. Spit It Out is my number 5, and it's hilarious.
My number 5 is a repeat of one of Sam's, and that is Telestrations. It's Telestrations. I don't know that I've ever played this game where people didn't just busting to uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah.
It's a actual version of a game that people play called Eat Poop You Cat, or they draw pictures on papers. Well, that was
such a scrumptious title.
Yeah, well,
Spit It Out.
Anyhow, the produced version with the flip books and with the markers is so well done, especially if you get the big version with up to 12 people. And the fun of the game is really in, like Sam said, just seeing how bad people draw and at the idiotic conclusions people come from other people's drawings. That's not even close to looking like a plate of spaghetti that's angry at someone. You know, how are you getting that from it? And it's just funny to watch it go from one thing, how it turns into, Superman to, a pile of dirty clothes. How did that happen?
Right.
So you can go look at some of these sometimes on the internet. They'll show you all the pictures and the things, and they're just funny to read.
Yeah.
And watch as people go through. So, Telestrations.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is a game that starts with the letter F, and it has to do.
We got clues now.
It has to do with matching.
Here's some floors.
It has to do with matching faces with other words and situations.
Faces.
Yes, faces is correct.
You say faces.
Faces.
Yay.
Yeah, faces. And
It's a great game.
Faces is a game that
Guessing.
we probably,
Have the best version in the world.
well, yeah, maybe.
Definitely.
We have the most pimped out version in the
I don't
world.
think anybody else has
that
gone
way.
through that trouble, honestly.
No,
So, yes.
nobody has.
There was a couple months where I was just in the mood to make the game.
You certainly were. But Faces fosters so many funny situations. Some of the faces that are on there, and I'm talking about just the base game ones. I'm not talking about all the weird ones that he added. Some of the base ones, especially the animals, that stack usually went down first.
Really? I thought the animals were the most boring part.
Really?
Yeah.
Some of the animals.
I thought the old ladies, they look like
old
ladies that look like
yeah.
they're from
Yeah, those were.
247 years old. They're like, that's the hot model.
I always felt bad because I was. What if I'm laughing at somebody's relative?
Get over it.
They're sitting at a table or something like that. But it's never a dull moment. I think we probably, for myself at least, we played it into the ground. We played it so much. It's been a while since we played it.
Probably, and we haven't for a while.
But
I did play the game once with a guy who said, "Oh, I know that person."
No way.
Well, I pull them off the internet. The chances are high.
serious?
Every time we play, I say, "Okay, before we start, your friend, mother, brother, sister, wife, husband, or you may be in this game. Sorry, you shouldn't put yourself up in Google."
wow,
That's hilarious.
That
you knew
is.
somebody in the game. It's awesome.
I didn't know that happened. Wow,
Well,
that's cool.
It's going to happen again, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably so. But anyway, every time we played it, we always laughed our guts off. So, Faces number 4.
My number 4 is a very new game. Just came out, a party game that I'm really enjoying called But Wait, There's More. I love the idea of selling games. There's Snake Oil, there's The Big Idea, but those games basically just had you selling something, and they're funny and interesting. But Wait, There's More has you selling the item, and then halfway through, you get a random something else changes. I'm selling something that cures pimples, and then halfway through I find out it also kills cats. And I have to turn that into a positive thing, which actually...
That is a positive.
That's super positive. Wow. What a great product. Anyhow, okay, sorry, I know we just lost 300 cat lovers, but I'm sorry, they just hate people.
1,000 cat lovers, what are you talking about?
But anyhow, the game is hilarious, especially when you work in teams and you're working together, and it really brings out the late night infomercial in you. You're like, but wait, there's more. And then I love playing with but that's not all expansion.
What's it called? What's that one part? What's that?
Oh, but that's the best part. It's called.
That's the best.
But that's the best part. Because there's like a question that says, "But what about how does it affect children?" Well, that's the best part. Yeah. It clears the cats out of your house.
What if I put it in the laundry? That's the best part. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, really enjoyable game. But wait, there's more.
Well, but wait, there's more is not a game I've actually played yet. It's on that list that needs to get played, and hopefully I will play it soon. My number 4 is another game Tom mentioned, Snake Oil. In a very similar vein. You have cards which have things on them and you make a pitch. You combine some of them and you pitch some ridiculous item. And the game does a couple of interesting things. There's many games that do this, but in that game, you are pitching an item to a specific person. So the character you're pitching to can be different, which lets you come up with funny combinations, right? And it's just one of those games you can just sit there and laugh at how silly and goofy your friends are being. It's got that going. It's the same thing he was saying about the wait.
It is, but for me, but wait, there's more killed Snake Oil.
I haven't played it, and it might very well do that. It sounds hilarious. But my number 4, Snake Oil, really a very, very funny game as well.
Number 3.
My number 3 is one of the dumbest games ever designed, and I have...
Box of rocks.
Yeah. I've added a whole pile of things to it, just like I did to Faces, but even the base game, I would bring it to conventions because it was so funny, and that's Magical Athlete. The game in which you simply are rolling a die to move people around the track, and every time I play this game, peals of laughter. It's so dumb. And yet, you are cheering for your people to get around. You're using these weird powers to manipulate them. It's unbalanced, unbroken, it's ugly. I mean, there's so many negatives on this game, and yet it makes me laugh every time, and I love it.
Wow, play it.
Yes, but I like it. At least the game was...
All right.
What?
Sorry, never mind. No,
What's the game? What?
Didn't say
Oh, moving on. What? Don't get punched. Don't get punched. Right, my number 3 is a game I have has been out for some time, and I heard about it. I thought, this sounds interesting, so I got a copy and got to play it a few times, and it is very, really, really very funny. The game's called Anomia, and it's a game in which very simple light game. Have you heard of it? Do you know it?
No, Anomia doesn't knock people out.
I don't know what that is.
Ammonia, you moron.
I'm really off on my words today, aren't I?
And ammonia doesn't knock people out.
I know, but that's what he was thinking.
Oh, wow. Anyway, Anomia is a game in which you are flipping a card in front of you. The cards have a topic and a symbol. And on your turn, you flip a card over. And then the next player will flip a card over, and so on.
Have another drink.
As soon as 2 symbols match on the table, so let's say I flip over a green asterisk, and that player flips one over. As soon as that happens, they need to look at my category, and I need to look at them and say something in that category before they do. Whoever's fastest wins, they take your cards or something, you run the deck out, whoever got the most cards wins. Really simple, very silly. But it's that spit it out thing where your brain goes, fine, take my cards. You know what I mean? It's that thing. And it's just hilarious. And sometimes you can trigger cascades, actually, because you take a card and then reveal a previous match. And those people got to go at it right then and there. It's a funny game, neat little card game, super small and portable. So if you're looking for like a funny game that's really portable, this is a good one. Anomia, a great find. I'm happy I came across. My number 3.
Cool. All right, my number 3, 2, and 1 are not the same game, but they've all been mentioned by other other people here at the table. So I know I'm not going to get any crud for my top 3.
No, I'm going to give you garbage anyway.
Okay, fine. Give me garbage on this one. Number 3, Sheriff from Nottingham.
Lame.
Go ahead. Come on.
I feel so dumb for not putting this on my list now. Yes, I pushed the Dice Tower Essential line.
Now, I will give the caveat. I do think that Sheriff of Nottingham, you have to play it with the right people that are willing to do that role-playing aspect.
But I would argue that this list, more than any of our other lists, has that caveat for every game on it.
Yeah, and I was going to mention that as well. Yeah, I think
sure.
almost any. You have to have the right. It can't be an awkward setting. It has to be a comfortable setting that people are going to be willing
We recommend
to
you
step
play
out on that
all
one.
these games the first time you meet the parents of that person you're dating for the first time. Bring out all 10 of these. Cashing Guns works.
Schroeder font. If you,
But-
you share the party favor. Here you go, mom-in-law.
I mean, I've, and the reason I mention that caveat here is because I have heard many stories on the other side of the fence where people have tried playing Sheriff of Nottingham and they just said it fell flat.
Sure.
It was just not. It wasn't fun. It was very dry. It wasn't fun at all. And it's just because people didn't take that extra step of role playing it. You know,
And some people
owning
don't want that, really. I mean,
Right,
and
yeah,
that's okay.
fine. Yeah, they want
This
to
is
play the
actually
mechanics.
to its strength. I don't know what the word is. It's one of those games that will be funny if you want to make it funny, but if you actually have a group that doesn't engage in that, the game is still perfectly fine. Like, it will work.
Yeah, it's still
a game
a good
like
game.
Snake Oil.
Right.
No. That's like, wah, right? But, Sheriff of Nottingham will work with a group that goes, we're not really funny. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you're right. You got to push it.
I'm telling you right now, if you ever play Sheriff of Nottingham with me, and I'll even go as far as to say these two over here, you're gonna
We're funny.
at least the three of us, we're gonna try to make you laugh.
That's right.
Play Sheriff of Nottingham because you've got to laugh. You've got to have fun playing that game.
I'll try to make some jokes, but Sam will threaten to hurt you if you're not laughing.
No, I won't.
You better laugh.
Number 2.
My number 2 is the first game, if I'm not mistaken, that is on all three of our lists. And this is Telestrations, folks.
hey.
Telestrations is laughter in a box. This is one of those games, my preferred way to play, and because I have not much else here to add because they've said it all, is to ignore the cards that are included in the game, because they give you stuff that sometimes is not very funny, like hammer. It's going to be a hammer. By the end, it'll be a hammer, most likely, okay? But come up with crazy stuff, like a dinosaur holding up a liquor store, right? Like that, by the time it comes back around,
It's not going to be dinosaur holding up a liquor store,
you're
right?
mining gold, right? If you go with really silly stuff, and you might need a couple of rounds to warm up to that, but man, try it, because you're going to be laughing off your
Barney
seat.
in court by the time it gets to the other.
It's so good, right? So nothing else to say. Play it. It's hilarious. Telestrations, my number 2.
Yep.
All right.
Good pick. All right, my number 2 has already been mentioned by you, Z.
Okay.
I don't believe you have mentioned it, and I don't think you will mention it. But maybe I can't see it being your number 2 or number 1. But it is that game of charades where you are losing abilities throughout the course of the game, as Z put it, and that's Time's Up. My favorite version of the game is Title Recall. And Title Recall, I think, is probably more restrictive. As you were saying earlier, sometimes it suffers from having the right cards with the right people.
Yeah.
And I think Title Recall is even more restrictive with that, because if people don't read books, or if
pop
people
culture,
don't,
right? If you don't-
if people don't listen to music, they're going to miss a lot of that
different
stuff.
cultures. Also, you're in trouble.
But
You can still have fun.
it's easier to
backing
get,
out the-
but it's
the
easier to
words.
get people to guess those things. Like, for example, a river runs through it. It's easier for me to get you to guess that than it might be to get. If I don't know who Jacques Cousteau is, how do I get you to guess that outside of that?
Yeah.
The first name is like a nursery rhyme, and the last name sounds like when you want to know the price of something, you ask how much does it. You have to do stuff like that. While a river runs through, you can be like, oh, water, and not walking, and you can. That's why I think Title Recall has that edge.
Yeah, I think so.
And it is. I like it better also.
Yeah, so I mean, Time's Up, Title Recall, already talked about it already, so we're not gonna belabor it. My number 2.
I just to be sure, I will I said time's up, but really I meant, and I will add the writing, we'll say Title Recall, because it's really the funniest one.
The power of the editor.
And I do think it'll be on his list.
You think so?
I do.
Number 2 or what?
My number 2 is Beyond Balderdash, or the new Balderdash. The new Balderdash, I think, has all the different categories in it, where they have the B movies, and you have to write the little plot to it. Or the original Balderdash was the dictionary game. You have some weird word, what does it mean? And the definitions that people write down, again, if you get the right group, get funnier and funnier and more meta as it goes by. And every time I played this, I've just really enjoyed it. I even have it. I don't have the box anymore. I just have the cards to have around here. And one of these days, we should do that for a live session sometime. I think that'd be a funny one to do. And then have people could guess, like on their own, which one is the real definition.
That'd be funny.
Probably be pretty easy after a while. But Balderdash is a game that I've played since I was 10. I mean, it's an old game.
A dictionary game, right? I mean,
Yeah, and I've always loved it. I think it's a hilarious game. Balderdash or Beyond Balderdash or whatever the new Balderdash is calling it. Maybe it's here on the bottom of the screen.
And finally, number 1.
All right, we go. Dice roll. I'm going to roll one die and beat you both. Can I pull it off?
no.
It's possible.
He could probably beat me.
Possible, but
I'll roll.
no.
I will definitely roll a snake eyes.
All right, let's do it. All right, you're
Okay, I'm
rolling a
feeling
die,
it.
whatever.
Feeling it.
Now, if I
Look, you rolled 3. You rolled 3.
now if I do roll a snake eyes, I automatically win. How's that?
All right, fine.
Sure. Why am I doing this? I don't think it'll be. I have a fair.
One.
Oh, I did roll doubles. 3.
You think you'll beat me?
I got 6.
Shut up! Don't be a jerk.
Hey, we got doubles again, 4s.
Wow.
All right.
Wait, we get to roll again.
No, it's not Parcheesi. Oh, is your number 1 Parcheesi?
No.
No. I will say. Let's start with you, Sam, and work our way down here.
Okay.
I'm gonna. You're number 1. I want to guess here. You've already said Spyfall, yes? You did already say that.
I know what
You
Sam's
said
number 1
Sheriff,
is.
And you said Time's Up.
I did.
I'm gonna guess Balderdash also. Cash and Guns.
Cash and Guns.
You don't know me.
I think you said that already.
He did not. I said it.
You said it. Okay, okay,
Cash and
okay.
Guns.
Trickery.
Cash and Guns 2.0. We just played this in youth group last week, a week ago, and it was a blast. People, I mean, pointing guns at each other, and yes, horror of horrors. But they're foam guns. Okay, get over it. So we're pointing guns at people, and they're just. I'm not even playing the game, and I'm just having a blast watching the game be played because people are pointing guns at each other, and they're like, "What did I do to you?"
And always
Why?"
sideways. Always sideways.
Yeah, it's always sideways. Yeah, it's like, what is it? Just playing,
Gangsta?
Just playing business. Just playing. I don't know what it is.
That I did not know.
I don't know what are those two. Anyway, they're. It's like they're getting all worked up over having gun pointed at them, and then it's like they just start bursting into laughter, you know, and it almost becomes where it's just it's a natural laughter. You're just having a good time playing this game, and the 2.0 version. There's so many different things that I like about it. It's much more streamlined than the first version. It was a knockout of the park. For 2.0. Yeah! Anyway, my number 1, Cash and Guns 2.0.
Would you say 2.0 is funnier? 2.0 is funnier than the first?
I do think so because there's less going on.
I've never played the second one.
There's less going on. It's more streamlined. So
Seems like there was more going on.
No.
Okay.
Well, I'd say they're the same, but it doesn't matter.
All right.
right.
I'm guessing again for you. Time's up. What do you think, Sam?
Sure, I'll go with it. I mean, he has pushed it on the
Love
last
that game.
2
Did he
live
say
sessions.
Did he say Faces already?
No,
No, I didn't say Faces, but I left Faces off if only because it's getting harder and harder to find.
All right, fine.
And so, yes, it's Time's Up.
yeah, called it.
Cool.
And again, if you go back and watch the live sessions of Time's Up in both this past year and the year before, I thought they both went over really well. And they both had really, I've never laughed as hard as I had at some of the Time's Up games. Nothing. No game has come close to me on that.
Yeah.
It's just, I distinctly remember moments from the very first game I played of it, which was with you and your wife, and all the way up to the last one, which was with you guys. Actually, I haven't played it since then. But man, is it funny. So, and again, I will agree with these guys. Title Recall is where it's at.
Okay.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing more versions of Time's Up. They've made more versions overseas.
Really?
Yeah, I know that. I think France, they've made various versions. They once made a board game version, but that's I don't care about that really. That's just kind of like a meta thing.
It seems like there's a lot of expandability in the game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could have a U.S. history only, European history only.
Well, yeah, I
So
know.
many different skins that you can put over it. I mean, it's almost endless.
Right. All right. So my number one. What do you guys think?
Well, I was gonna guess Illustrations for you.
Okay. Which
But-
that is my number.
But you said that was your number 2. I don't think any of the other games on my list are on yours.
I would imagine it's going to be a game that I haven't played.
You have,
probably played. You both probably played.
is it on our list?
It's on yours.
Really?
Well, here I'll tell you what. This is the one game I've played. This is the one game I have to say I probably quit playing before the game's
Must be
over the
that one.
most.
Yeah.
From having a massive headache from laughter.
It's got to be that one.
Beyond Balderdash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we guessed it.
Okay. Beyond Balderdash is just one of those games that it's like the boulder. Okay. It's or if you would the avalanche.
Is that your boulder?
That was an unintentional pun actually, but
Nice boulder.
anyway. Snowball effect. Okay. It stars. It's kind of funny, but then the more you play, the more you start referencing old goofy stuff you said already, and the more you start like throwing in the in jokes, and the more you start doing things that really go against the like winning, right? I mean, you're like throwing answers. I mean, you're like, who cares? It's that thing you said last round. No, that's not what it says. Right?
And you know, I found that the games, those are my favorite games. When the point system, like halfway through the game, it's like, but almost every time I've done this, there's that one person, and they're like,
What's
come
the
on,
score
guys.
now? Yeah,
they're like,
no.
80. They're always getting the right one.
Yeah, no. This game, I'm telling you, I have almost never played to completion because I get massive laughter headaches. I'm like falling off chairs. Not like,
Wetting his
aha, I
pants.
fell. No, like I'm laughing, falling off. I love it. It's the funniest game I have ever played, and Beyond Balderdash is miles better than just the dictionary game because it gives you all those categories. And man, this is laughter in a box. That's all it is. So, my number one, Beyond Balderdash, game I will keep forever and ever.
Well, that definitely means we got to play this one live now then. All right, cool. Well, those are our funniest games. What are yours? Tell us in the comments. Tell us why we're wrong, although I think you guys got to give us some credence on this list.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't like shoot down all our ones, right?
Shadows over Camelot.
Oh, well, that's true. That was garbage. But the rest of the lists.
Pretty solid otherwise.
I care not.
Also, listen, I'm working on my vocabulary, so you don't need to help these guys with their jumping on me. Okay? All right, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Have a good one.
And I'm Sam Healey. See you on the flip side, folks.